What's going on, SML? It is time for the SML Countdown official, way too early, Madden 27 mock team draft. First one in the league. And so, first thing we're going to do, though, I think we got to go over this order. Prime put out this, I don't remember what it was, like a sort of like a poll where you ranked everybody where you thought they should be drafting, and then he put out the results. So we're going to look at this, and then we can adjust off of this if we think things should change or where they're going to end up. So I think no surprise, we've got Prime number one, and you can see actually with these numbers here, there are a lot that are, you can see defined tiers. So you got Prime number one with 1.00. I think there was actually a vote that wasn't for him, but he left at 1.00. And so that's going to put Prime at one. Anybody have any issues with that one? Yeah, I think we all know that's how that's gonna shake out. I'll go like in groups, and we can move within the group. So the first group, you got Bomber 2, Dan 3, Matt 4, AJ 5, and that looks all pretty similar. Anybody want to move anybody around in there?
I think the only one I would move, and you know what? This is what I'll say. It's hard for some folks knowing like all the different admin things folks do. This top five, like this is the top five for sure. I might switch AJ and Matt. That'd be the only thing that I think I would do, but that's just my personal opinion.
AJ, do you have a problem with switching you and Matt?
I don't know what Matt does behind the scenes. To be honest, if I'm picking like top seven, I feel like I got the pick of the litter, so I'll be happy with whatever.
All right. Well, if you don't want to move, then we'll leave you at 5 there. After that, you've got a pretty clear next four with Woods at 8.47, Meats 8.82, DW 8.94, and Raider Fan 9.06. Any issues with any of those?
I don't know what I don't know what you guys think, but when I look at content, like I think I would bump MMX into this group. Now I don't know like the way just looking at and this is also because I'm not a spreadsheet guy, so him putting together the
Yeah,
Survivor League and all that, like I would put him in that same Woods meets DW category because they all do content or
Yeah.
admin stuff, but they all do content really well. I'd put him up with them over Raider Fan.
Over Raider Fan? Okay.
Mhm.
yeah, I'd probably put him in that group. I don't know if I'd put him over Raider fan, but I'd put him over like KP and Hertz.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe the top of that group because he does
I feel like the
a lot of
content
stuff.
MMX does is more consistent.
Okay.
Not saying those guys don't put any out, but a lot of work goes into that, and I think he should be rewarded for the amount of time he puts into it.
Yeah.
Despite whether all 32 guys do it or not, I mean that's tough to
That's
get
true.
them to do anything. You can give away $200 and you can't even get full participation.
Yeah.
So I mean,
That's true. I mean, when he did his omniscient thing, I won the first season, or not the first season, 2 seasons ago. I won it, and he was like, "What's your Venmo?" I was like, "Just roll it back into the next season." And so he
Yeah.
made the next season $100, and I think by the end there was like 3 people playing. It was ridiculous. You can't, like you said, AJ, you can't give money away. DW's tried, and he still has to hunt people down to make a bracket that takes like
Yeah.
30 seconds.
uh,
Okay, so I put MMX ahead of KP and Hertz.
Yep.
And then we got Tiny, MYT, Tug, Dump, and QP, all kind of right around 15 to 17 were slotted. What do you think about Dump and QP? Both of them missed, I want to say a significant portion of the season or the cycle because they both joined fairly early. I think seasons 2 and 3. What do you think about having them above guys like Soda, Stavo, Mike? I'll get to Straw because I don't think you should be where you are, but the guys that haven't, put in a full cycle.
well, I think realistically, no matter what this little poll shows, Prime's going to bump the guys down that weren't here all cycle. So I think it would be silly for us to do this with them up higher,
Yeah,
knowing that that's not really going to be where they are. That's just, I mean, that's what history says. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, Bomber. You've been here longer than I have, but pretty sure the guys that have been here all cycle are going to get precedent.
yeah, it's very rare to see somebody that was here all cycle get passed by somebody that wasn't.
Yeah, they'd be like
But it's not
late 20s,
impossible either.
maybe in the mid-20s, but not like
Yeah.
teens, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking 16 and 17 right now. I think that's probably a little high. Um, what about Tiny and MYT and Tug ahead of those two before we get down to those two? Good with those?
I put NYT at the top of those because he has really been helpful in Primer.
Yeah.
Um, up until just recently, he had to bow out, obviously, because of his work stuff, but up until then, he was very active in Primer and helpful in admin chat and all that good stuff.
I'm actually going to go with MYT, then Tug for his commentary stuff, and he doesn't get any suspensions. And then Tiny, he's got some suspensions and really doesn't do much else. So I'll put him below Tug there.
I think that's fair. I like that.
And then we got Dump and QP. They're the first two that haven't done a full cycle. Soda doesn't really do anything. Stavo's done a couple things. I'm actually, I'm going to put Straw right here. I think you've had maybe a couple more suspensions than Tiny, but full cycle, commentary, the different shows. I think that's probably a better spot there. And I don't know who. Oh, I just moved Dump. So I'm going to put Dump here real quick just so I don't forget who it was. And then what do you think about just move QP down just above Dump? Because I think he joined before Dump did.
Yeah, I think that's
fair.
that's about right. Maybe
Stavo over Soda.
I think Soda. I don't think Stavo does any content other than if he's asked to come on a show. I think Soda does the. Doesn't he do some of the statistical stuff? Maybe I'm wrong.
I think he might. Okay, we'll put him there.
He's and stuff.
Plus, nobody likes Stavo anyway, so just move him there. All right. And then maybe Mike, Dump, and then QP.
Yeah.
And then so you still have a couple guys, and Dump makes a good point in chat. He says he's made and done way more content than a lot of guys in there.
Yes.
Oh, because Dump does his
How many seasons did he miss?
So he joined, I want to say, and he's in chat, he can correct me, but I think it was not even middle of season 3. I think it was early season 3. And I think QP was early season 2, if not off season 1. So there's still a couple
only one
guys.
I can think of, the only two in that group that I would think of. Who is it? We got Trick,
Fig,
ZBD,
Doink, and Not Nice.
Yeah, those are the ones that haven't been here all cycle. So, yeah, I don't know. We're kind of splitting hairs at this point, but I still think if guys are joining as late as season 3, they're probably still going to be behind the guys that have been here all cycle.
Okay. So you want to move Fig, ZBD, Doink, and Not Nice up, and Trick. So if I was picking, I would probably do.
I think so.
I'm gonna have to move these over here just so I don't forget who I'm moving.
Just because I think that's what's actually going to happen.
Yep, I think.
So
and then maybe some of the newer guys maybe jump one of the latter guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
One I was surprised, and I just deleted him. Let me see if I can go back. Steele was 21.22 was his average position, which is what 12 or 11 or 12 points above the bottom or spots, and he was the last guy in, and that was what a season and a half ago. So that was kind of surprising, but I think he does a lot in Primer, so some probably benefited.
Job nobody wanted, so
yeah,
it's points for that.
Shows the impression he's put on the league, man. He's come in competitive, but also just lots of fun too. So,
all right, so let's see. So Trick, Fig, ZBD, Doink, and Not Nice. Do we want to have them above the rest of the new guys? Because everybody after that, after QP and Dump, I think, are after season 3 or later. Actually, I don't know when. Yeah, Grim had a couple seasons, I think. I think Eddie was later. But Eddie's done a bunch of stuff. Steele does Primer.
Doink done any? He's done some of the fantasy things, hasn't he?
He did a
Oh,
Duck Kings thing.
yep,
He's done a Duck Kings once or twice.
yep.
Yeah, Prime says, "Can you move me to 7?" Like that one guy's list had. He put himself at 1.00, so I think he threw that list out.
Who put themselves at 1?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember who they had at 1, but apparently Prime was at 7. So yeah,
Trolling. Sounds
yeah,
like something
pretty
me.
much. You can't. I mean, you've seen the DW polls. You're always going to get somebody who puts Tiny as like the Super Bowl. So okay, so let's do both Trick and ZBD both did some primer stuff. So Trick I think is a little more active. So I'm gonna put Trick up here, and then ZBD.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then
so you got Fig Doink, Not Nice, and then you got Eddie, Slice, Steel, guys all
Probably
coming
go
in
Doink.
time.
I'd probably go Doink, Fig, Not Nice.
Do you have Doink? Do you penalize Doink at all? And it looks like, I mean, the league put him at 25, almost 25 and a half. Do you penalize him for the Reddit stuff?
No, I mean,
Or do you think picking this far down is already?
who are you penalizing? Maybe jump Fig in front of Doink, I guess, if you want to penalize him. But I don't think Not Nice jumps Doink as far as contributions, I guess.
Okay. So let's do we'll do
Not Nice broken a bunch of rules too. I mean, I know not
That's true.
all rules are made equally, I guess, but
So Fig Doink. Get rid of him.
splitting hairs at this point.
Yeah.
yeah.
Not Nice. I'll put Torque over here just so I have a placeholder. All right. So then after Not Nice, so you've got Eddie, Steel, Torque. I'll just put him back here so we can see them all. So how do you want to list everybody after Not Nice? Eddie's done a bunch. I think he was one of the ones that was here. I think Slice got here before him, but I think Eddie does quite a bit more.
Yep.
With like commentary and everything.
I do like Slice's playoff articles though; those are actually fun to read.
Yeah, and he does them for every round too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you want to just do them in order then? Slice, then Eddie?
I mean, I think Eddie fine above him, and then Slice, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, whichever one, it don't don't matter. It's fitting that they're both right beside each other, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Eddie, Slice, and then we're down to Torque, Steel, Fins, and Coop. I think probably Fins and Coop being 31 and 32 is probably pretty accurate. I had them 31 and 32. They were the last two in, I think, and really sometimes forget they're even there. Steel, Torque. What do you want to do with those two?
The primer stuff. Steel.
When did Torque join? I forgot. Because he was admin for some time before he got called up too.
Yeah, he was primer admin for a little bit, and then I think when he got called up, he stopped being primer. He says he got called up before Steel.
Yeah, he definitely. I'd put Torque above Steel.
Yep.
As much as I want Steel to get extra points for taking the primer, I mean, Torque's also been in primer admin a little longer too, so I think that's fair.
Okay, and then yeah, that's right. He was with Filthy and God, who am I forgetting?
Yeah, he was really active in primer too, doing shows and stuff.
I think it was the three of them. It was Steel, Torque, and Filthy got picked to be primer admins at the same time. But yeah, we can. This is going to change anyway. I mean, we still have a season and almost 2 seasons, so
and we don't really have any power anyway. So
Right.
We'll go with this. I think it's a good list. I think, like I said, like Dump said, he's done a bunch of stuff. So with a season, almost 2 seasons to go, number one, I think this 32 will not be the 32 that team draft, let alone be at the end of season 9 anyway. But I think for right now, this is probably an as it stands today good list. So let's jump into this, and we'll start pick 1. We've got Prime. I'll go ahead. I'll make the first pick since that way I don't pick for myself. Prime, man, he's hinted that basically anywhere but the Colts. I mean, we've seen the Cardinals, we've seen the Raiders, we've seen the Bears at one point. I think, man, I don't think he's going back to the Colts. as much as I think the Lions being too good probably have gotten a little boring, I think going back to the Colts and being that bad would be equally as boring. And I think he really would like the Raiders. You got a young team. You got Thornton, who's going to be his speed guy. That's his Jameson Williams. Defense, he let the entire defense walk when he was in cap trouble. So I don't think that the defense is going to be an issue with them being older with Max Crosby. But you do have a lot of speed coming in. I think it's going to be the Raiders. So I've got Prime as the Raiders at number 1. What do you guys think?
It gives him a really good running back, and I think he likes Mendoza being an Indiana guy. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess he's not really an Indiana guy. He's from California, but
Yeah. That's
And then
close enough.
they got a speed receiver too, don't they?
Yeah, Thornton. He's gonna be
Oh,
the speed guy. So I mean, he's like 6'4", 6'5", 97 speed. Assuming that doesn't change, that's Jameson Williams, but better.
He's got his quarterback, his running back, and his wide receiver.
And
Unless
his tight
Mendoza
end.
just
Brock Bowers isn't a bad tight end either. So
Best tight
yeah, probably the best one in the game.
yeah. So
I like the Raiders for Prime. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I don't know if I could believe anything he says after the last draft. But I do like the Raiders. If he picked the Raiders, I think that'd be fun for him.
yeah, I think it would be more fun than the Lions and the Colts, other than like Colter's favorite team. So there's that little bit of pull, but I think it's going to be a different team. All right, who wants to go next?
I'll go.
All
I'll
right,
go
Straw,
first.
what are you thinking?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna take I'll take the easy route here, and I'll go ahead and give you the Browns.
All right.
I think you run it back with the Browns again. You got the monkey off your back this season, this cycle, and had a really great cycle. But I also think the Browns, have been doing a lot of fun team building type things in the draft and free agency and things, and they have a lot of pieces. So I think that'd be a great pick for you to go again, and run it back with the Browns. So that's who I'll give you.
Yeah, I was prepared to not go with the Browns, and then they drafted Taylor Green, and I was like, man, you just a 6th round pick that's going to be a useful Madden quarterback. Like that just solved every problem I had season 1. So I could definitely see the Browns. I would say don't count out the Giants. The Jets I thought about, but God, I don't want to play in the Bills Stadium every year. So that one might be out. All right, AJ, who do you have Dan going with?
I think Dan might go Jets if this is how it shook out. Simply because I don't think he wants to be in the NFC when Prime's in the AFC. He's said a few times that he'd rather play him more often than once every 3 seasons and get a feel for him and put him out of the playoffs, or something in that regard. I don't know. I don't see him taking Steelers right now.
Yeah.
I don't think their rookies are going to be all that exciting. In this particular scenario, he'd be joining your division, which I don't think he'd shy away from. But at that point, you got the whole board in front of you. Jets have a lot of well, they have some young pieces and they have a ton of draft picks, so you could build that team from scratch in the first couple of seasons.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of pieces there. The problem is I thought about them. I was like, oh, you have 3 first-round picks. Well, you have 3 first-round picks, but your problem is going to be that you don't have anything after those 3 first-round picks because they traded everything to get them. And so between that and playing the Bills, I don't know how much I'd want to do that. But
you can trade some of those first-round picks, and
you could.
You got some cap space to play with. I mean, there's different ways you could play with it.
Yeah, I could definitely see moving those picks, especially if it's like if Prime ends up the Colts or you won't end up the Cowboys, but if he ends up the Colts and now you've got Prime's pick, it's not as attractive. Maybe you move it, especially season 1. All right, so that brings Matt at number 4. Matt's a tough one. I feel like he either goes Seahawks or he goes with a loaded team. And I think I put Primer down here. I think Matt is actually going to go. I think he might go with the Chiefs. We've kind of seen this before with Matt. The last part of the cycle, he takes or trades for a quarterback that he thinks he's going to use next cycle. He did it with Lamar Jackson. He got Lamar Jackson. Then he followed that up by the very next team draft taking the Ravens. Um, he's talked about the Chiefs. He's talked about Mahomes. He likes loaded teams. I think he ends up going to the Chiefs, and then he can follow Prime. I don't think he's afraid to follow Prime. So that I think he's mentioned before he doesn't like going into an empty division. This gives him Prime as the Raiders. At this point, you figure maybe QP ends up with the Chargers if they fall far enough. I think he's good with that, and he gets Mahomes. So I'm going to give Matt the Chiefs. And then Straw, you get to do AJ.
Yeah, so back to back, giving people the team they already had and their teams. But I think I feel like AJ, you take the Giants again. This is now the rookie. I think it would be great. The rookies of now they now have a year under their belt. I think they drafted decently well. And I think you started to like catch your stride with them towards the end of the cycle. I actually like to see you pull out the Giants again and have a good run with them. So I want to give you the Giants here.
I feel like Straw's using the Madden 26 team draft for his cliff notes here because he's just got everybody going back.
Golly, you made me consider it at least. I don't know if I could go back to back with the same team, but I don't know. Maybe they give Jackson Dart 93 throw power and a superstar dev. Who knows? So
yeah, I mean, if they're enough improved, you're gonna lose Dexter Lawrence, but you're getting used to playing without him anyway. So
the defense is loaded. Like other than you got some linebacker work, but other than that, it's defensive line's pretty nasty. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm 50-50 with Browns and Giants for that exact reason. Like the defense is set. You don't have to do anything.
They're a great team. And yeah, for sure.
Oh, just remember that the Eagles fan just said the Giants are a great team. AJ, you got Woods picking 6. Where do you think Woods goes? You want to just pencil him in as the Jags, and we'll just keep
Woods is going back to the Eagles, man.
Okay. That's what I said too.
Because he's reliving his glory days. He had a tough cycle with the Jags. Nothing's gone right, even though it's his team. I mean, he won what? He won 2 with the Eagles, right?
Yeah, over 2 cycles. I think he took the Eagles back.
Previous to that, Woods didn't won anything. So like, I mean, I think he rolls with the team that got him there and goes back to the Eagles.
Yeah, I could absolutely see that. If it's not the Eagles, it's like I think it's something like the Lions or one of these like loaded teams that he doesn't have to worry about building, kind of like the Jaguars, the opposite of the Jaguars, because that didn't work out very well. All right, so that means Meats is up, and I'm not going to give him the Ravens because I don't think he goes back to the Ravens. I think Meats ends up punching air again because I think he wanted the Eagles 2 cycles ago, and Woods took them right before him. Then he wanted them this last cycle, and he watched Matt take them. Now he's finally got his chance to take the Eagles. Surely Woods isn't going back there, and Woods takes the Eagles. So I think Meats probably at this point has no idea what he's doing. And looking at the teams, I kind of want to – I feel like he's going to take a team that's good and that's in a division that's empty right now because I don't think he wants to follow anybody that's going to beat him out. I think he's tired of losing. I mean, we've watched. He just got beat by Torque. Right now, he's like the 3rd or 4th guy in the AFC North. Probably 4th, because I think Straw's back now, and he's going to hopefully turn things around after we're done playing. But I'm going to give Meats. I'm going to give him the Lions. I think they're clearly the number 1 team in that division. Now, maybe the Bears end up getting a little better because of their playoff run, but I think he's going to go with the Lions. Same reason Prime took him. You got the speed receiver. You got Gibbs. We saw what Meats has done with Keaton Mitchell. Glad to see him go, and I think that's where he's going to go is the Lions.
Interesting.
Right. DW, where do you see him going, Straw?
Yeah, interestingly enough, I think DW, he does a lot for the league with his content. I think he's always traveling and doing his thing, and he sometimes he gets down on himself about his play style and about playing, and I think that No, I've definitely seen DW have some games where he's just like on fire. He's feeling good. He's feeling confident and he's doing his thing. I actually thought, if the Lions fell to him, he would try to go for the Lions, try to go with a good team, and see if he could compete a little bit. With Meats taking the Lions right before him. And he's a Browns fan, right?
He is a Browns fan, yeah.
Oh, I I have him going with the Bills.
Okay.
I have him going with the Bills. I think he's looking for a team that can, play a little bit. You got Josh Allen. I don't think the Bills look as fun as sort of they did a couple of seasons ago, but I still think they're high-powered name with a good if their stadium um uh home field advantage is still what it is,
Yeah.
That's another little incentive to have them see if you could pull off some games. So I have DW going with the Bills, getting away from the Patriots.
Yeah, I could see that. He's been the Bills before, um, but I think it was a shortened cycle. It was one of the blips, and so I could see him taking those. I mean, you look at if you go through, all the games you've played this cycle, and you find however many of them were like a 3-point game that you lost, you can at least probably half of those are going to be wins just based off of that home field. Um, so to me, that's a huge home field advantage, and that's the difference between 4 or 5 losses over the cycle, which could be the difference between making the playoffs and not. So I could see that being his pick. AJ, you got Raider fan. Raiders are gone. He's already said he's not taking the Raiders anyway. Where do you see him going?
I think he and his good buddy Tug want to be in the same division again.
Okay.
I know Tug wants the Rams, which I think is very feasible.
Yeah.
Where he's at. I think he's going to land in the NFC West, and just looking at the available teams, I think the obvious choice would be the Seahawks.
Okay.
That's where I'd slot Raider fan in there. Best team in the division, thinking he's going to get in the same division as Tug again. Seahawks are nice on defense. They got Milrow on offense. There's some building to do on offense, but Milrow's a really nice quarterback in Madden for those that like to use QB's legs, and um, I think he's a fun one to have for sure.
Yeah, I would have said I was thinking Cardinals. Same reason. Tug in the NFC West, but he gets the Cardinals, and maybe he can trade Marvin Harrison to Prime, get Thornton or one of his Raiders. Problem is, I don't think Prime trades Thornton if he's the Raiders. Next up, MMX. So that's my pick. Well, he's a Chiefs fan. Chiefs are gone, so I don't think he takes anybody. Chargers or Broncos. I think MMX. I think he takes the Bears. I think the Bears have a really good team. You've only got Meats there. He likes his kind of quick passing. I think Caleb Williams would be perfect for that, and I think having the division there kind of open with just Meats, and then you got somebody's going to end up with the Vikings towards the end. Hopefully not Coop again, but I think the Bears are going to be the pick for MMX. And some of these are just tough to figure out what guys
MMX,
like.
whatever MMX and Meats, whatever actually get to play a game together, or
No, not with that schedule.
on weekends maybe.
No, yeah. If they play on the weekends, maybe. But MMX and his anytime after 11:30.
I couldn't think of a worse scheduling duo there to have to pair with each other.
Yeah, they'll probably be like a Mexican standoff trying to get force wins. But all right, so that means Straw, you're up with KP, Browns fan. Browns are gone. He took the Colts just to try to prove a point. Did get a Super Bowl out of it. What do you think he does this time?
Yeah, I think KP, he comes from the Dan tree, so I think I would love to give him a team with multiple picks, especially picks in the first round. I think Jets would be a good one if Dan hadn't taken them. I think the only other team with 2 first-round picks, if I'm not mistaken, I think is the Cowboys. I don't know if I would see him
Cowboys,
taking
I
the
think, only have one
Oh, they only have one?
because they don't have their own.
Ah,
That's the Jets have that
right.
in the Quinn Williams deal.
Yeah. Oh, yes, yes. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. So then, and I don't think he would go. I don't think he. I mean, KP can go into whatever division he wants, but I think if it's stacked like this, Obviously, I don't think he's going anywhere AFC North. I could see. I think he stays out of the AFC South just because he was just the Colts. So I'm looking at the NFC South for him, and I would probably. I think he likes to build teams. He's a really good team builder. Um, I'll give him the Falcons. I think KP would go the Falcons.
Falcons. I like that. I actually think that's a good pick for him. Thing with KP, I wouldn't give him a team that has a quarterback unless they were tradable, because it feels like every cycle he just trades a quarterback, drafts a quarterback on like a every other season kind of basis, if not every season. Um, which I don't know. I think the Falcons with Penix, you probably can't trade Penix. I think Stavo tried, but he also wants like a first and then your firstborn to go with it. So I don't know. I like the Falcons for KP. Other than an empty division, he said he likes to follow Dan. Problem is Dan is in the AFC East, and I don't think KP after last playoffs wants to deal with the Buffalo home field either. So
Yeah.
I like it. So what about Damon? AJ, you're up for Damon. Does he follow Dan or KP?
I don't think Damon wants to be anywhere near the AFC, considering just. I mean, Prime's been thumping that narrative all cycle, and Hurts can't get out of the NFC, which none of us have been able to. But Hurts is a good enough player to end up in a Super Bowl, given the right circumstances.
Yeah.
And I think he's gonna avoid, um, not necessarily scared to play, but he's just gonna put himself in a better position to be in the NFC. So, given that, um, how that shakes out, my my gut here tells me the Falcons. Um, it's an empty division. Um, you can take the same road as Stavo there and know that those other three teams probably are going to fall pretty late, other than maybe the Broncos at this point. Um, but the Falcons are nice. You got a young Bijan still. You still got Pitts is still on the Falcons, right? Or did he get
Yeah.
traded?
No, he's still there. It's probably why
Yeah,
KP took him with the pick prior.
Hurts loves his tight ends too. You get Pitts. I know he was the Falcons in primer for a while, and
Mm-hmm.
I think he really liked him. So I'm gonna slot Hurts in at the Falcons.
Yeah, and then unfortunately KP took the Falcons the pick prior. So where do you want
I
to?
just did
Did he
KP.
really?
Yeah, he just.
I'm sitting here thinking about my pick.
Yep.
Okay,
Strong.
well then I'll go with the original plan then. And he's gonna take the Cardinals.
Cardinal. Okay, I like that one. I think the
He
Isn't
knows
Cardinals
he
are
a
who
going to be.
he knows who he's going in division with. Cardinals have some nice young pieces too. Trey Benson's a lot to be excited about. You got Trey McBride. You got your tight end. Um,
Isn't he a Steelers fan? We don't. He doesn't. You don't think he'd go Steelers?
what?
I
Why
don't think
would he?
so. I don't think
Yeah,
he's in. Yeah. Now you've taken a.
they're not a good team.
No, they're
Bottom
not a
five
good
team.
team, and then you've already got me, Dan, Prime, all in the AFC. I see where AJ's going. You're right. Hurts is a guy that had he not been in the NFC this cycle and the AFC the one prior, he'd probably be in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
So, or at least competing for one. Right now, Prime just uh, beats him every year. So I could see that. I could absolutely see him going NFC, and I think Cardinals are going to be a good team. I liked them this year. I think next year, everybody in their second year, they're going to be even better. All right, so NYT picks next. No chance he takes the Titans. NYT is a tough one. I don't really know who he would like. I don't think he's following meets anywhere. I think he wouldn't mind following KP. The problem is you have to pick the Saints, Bucks, or Panthers. Same reason Stavo took the Falcons this year. You know they're falling. Unfortunately, this time if three teams fall and it's all three of them, Steele's getting one of them. So I don't think he does that. 49ers and Rams I don't think are good enough. I could see NYT going with the Commanders. He gets to play with AJ and Woods, so I don't think he has an issue with that. And then Jaden Daniels, have an escape artist. I think he'll be okay with that, assuming he still does. We obviously don't know what he's going to have, but he's going to have that. He's going to have Sonny Styles, so he's got his user linebacker. The only reason I would even look at the Commanders is Sonny Styles, and so I think NYT to the So that's my pick there. Straw, who do you have for Tug? We've kind of gone over Tug, who we think, but what do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give Tug. Oh, every Tug just had my number this year. And
Yes, he
and
does.
I the way that he was able to do it, he's the only person in this Madden who plays man defense. And I would sometimes forget that he likes to play man. And Sertan would always completely cover whoever it was that I was throwing it to. And I would think like, oh, they're gonna break open, and Sertan would just pick it off. And so I really liked that for Tug. I don't think he wants to go the Broncos again. I also doubt he would go in this direction because um and like playing Dan. But I would love to see him keep that same cornerback energy, another good man-to-man corner that could just take a receiver out of the game. I think that worked really well for him. So I'd like to see him go like the Patriots. I
Okay.
would give him the Patriots and kind of run that same formula back and see if he could pull something together. They were a team that was in the Super Bowl, so they have pieces. They're probably going to get bumped up a little better than what they actually are, but that's who and they might have AJ Brown, so that's who I'd give Tug.
Think he passes on the Rams?
Probably not. I Tug is probably gonna say he would
Thank
never,
you.
and he would not do it like this. But that's who I would like to see him take right here.
That'd be tough. Pass on his favorite team. Pass on playing with a Raider fan to take the Patriots, which I think the Patriots are probably going to be at least close to the top team in the AFC
They're a
East.
nice
Yeah, they should be nice, but then you got to play Dan, and Dan's kind of giving him fits all playoffs in this cycle.
Yeah, in all likelihood he's probably going with the Rams in that division for sure. If with that being his favorite team, that's probably where he's going. If it fell like this.
he could. I mean, I could see it though. Like you make a good point with Gonzalez to Surtain. I think the two of those guys. I mean, they're different than any other corner because the other corners you don't even notice them. But when I play those two guys, I'm watching where they are. So that would be interesting. And Tug's in chat. He said he wouldn't mind that division.
Okay, Tug, I like it. I like the energy.
And Tug's got like 37 running backs, and Travion Henderson would be a good place to start, especially if they leave the rosters the way they ended the season with him being 95 speed. He's one of the top running backs. So, okay, I like that. Tiny up for you, AJ. You've played Tiny a bunch this cycle, beating the hell out of him pretty much all the time. Where do you see Tiny going besides probably running away from you?
Well, if he has Tiny, I've never beat him before. I'm spreading fake news all over the SML. No, I think he goes to the Titans in this scenario. I mean, it's an empty division. You get Cam Ward. He hadn't had the Titans with Cam Ward. NYT got that from him this year. Because Tiny did he come in late? He came in late to the team draft at least. But yeah, I think he goes Titans.
Titans, okay.
There's nobody in the division that can scare him right now. All the scary guys are elsewhere. So I think that's a no-brainer there.
Yeah, I could see that. If it falls like this where it's completely empty, what about though? Do you think? I mean, we see Straw picks, then Soda, then Stavo, and so Stavo in 3 picks. Texans probably going to be there for Stavo. No prime in the division. Do you think Tiny wants to play Stavo, or do you think Tiny even thinks that far ahead?
I don't think he cares at that point. And Titans are there. Nobody else is in there. He's taking them.
Okay.
And I think he's jumping up and down that Prime's not in there.
I think he doesn't even realize like what is about to happen. But I think he's like so excited. He's got his little Cam Ward jersey on. Okay. All right. So that means Straw picks next. And this works out because Straw doesn't have to make his own pick. So I got a pick for Straw. And man, I would have said Straw to the Bengals is a lock for a Super Bowl. I know Matt has said it before when we did these mock drafts and maybe even on Total Access. Obviously, the Bengals were not a lock for the Super Bowl, at least so far. This season, a couple step back. I think, man, I don't think you go AFC North because I don't think you want to double up. I think that's one probably not. I wonder how much you like Stavo because I would consider taking the Texans, but I don't think you want a team that's going to be cap strapped either. So I think I think we're looking for a team that's got some money and a team that doesn't need too much work. Because I think roster building has been a struggle for you to sign guys at times. So I think maybe somebody a little more complete. You've already been the Cowboys. I'm going to give you the Packers. I think the Packers have a pretty well-made team already ready to go, but I don't know what Jordan Love's contract looks like. That could be a problem. But I think the Packers would be a good team for you. I'm actually going to change this. I don't like the Packers as much. Think about the Jordan Love contract. I'm going to go with the and I don't know how much you hate QP, but I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think you taking the Chargers. I don't think you're worried about Prime. I don't think you're worried about Matt. You get to kind of play Matt a little more after there's been a little bit of chirping going on. You get Justin Herbert, and I think the Chargers have enough pieces. I think I'm going to give you the Chargers. What are your thoughts on that?
I like that. And I kind of feel like Dan. I'd rather keep playing I liked playing against you, Bomber. I would like playing against Prime. So I like that.
Yeah, I don't think you want like an easy division, like a Stavo division. I think that would be a good one. You get to play Prime, you get the Raider or the Chargers, so you got Herbert, and then you get to play Matt and kind of beat up on him for the cycle, and then rub in that he's not trying.
We need a straw Matt rivalry next cycle.
Yeah, I saw that and I couldn't pass it
up.
up.
The table.
What about the Packers? If I had stuck with the Packers, what did you think about them?
I almost took the Packers last cycle instead of the Bengals. I was kind of going back and forth between the Bengals and the Packers, so you wouldn't have been far off with that.
So you like the team, and you would have been following Prime. So, okay, I like that. If it was Chargers Broncos and you had to pick one of the two,
between the it's tough because I especially the way after watching how corner does not matter and watching Surtain, that would be very having to not worry about a receiver or a side of the field. Oh my god, yeah. I might pick the Broncos.
All right, I'm gonna leave you Chargers since you don't have to make your pick. I was just curious on your thoughts after you kind of went off on Surtain and how good he was. You just have to remember that it's not the same Knicks as Tug has right now with Seth Beatley, much different Bo Nix. All right, so that means Straw, you're picking for Soda. And I just about gave you his team. Do you think he breathes a sigh of relief and takes his Packers?
Yeah. I think anyone I think he's taking his team over the maybe the headache of the scheduling that is to come. But I mean, when it's your team, you're probably willing to give into that a little bit. But so I think he's looking at this and he's like, yes, I think he's fine with playing Meats. He's fine with playing MMX and then hopeful for where the Vikings might land. Not a great team that everybody's jumping at. So he could be feeling really confident about that division with his favorite team. Only thing he's probably thinking about is that scheduling nightmare. But
yeah, but he's in like Wisconsin or something, so it's not like there's much to do anyway. He may actually be awake for that scheduling. All right, so who do we have, AJ, for Stavo? Does he? Tiny's in the AFC South. This is like a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, he sees Tiny just chilling in there. That's it. He's taking the Texans. Nobody's really gonna love the Colts. The Jags are a decent team, but somebody late is getting the Colts. So I think, no brainer here. Savo to the Texans. No Prime in his division. I mean, he's in a tough AFC at this juncture, but at that point, plus I think he probably wants to fight the narrative a little bit. Join a tougher conference, and you can somewhat put that in a notch in your belt.
Yeah,
what?
It would be the tougher conference, but it would not do anything to calm down the cake division narrative there, because Tiny being the only one in there. All right. Soda says it would be tough between the Saints and the Packers. I find it hard to believe it would be tough between the Saints and 91 Speed Golden, but when they're your favorite team. But he did say something about the Saints last cycle, so who knows? Stavos' first team in division, then you guys are going to say Weenie Hut again. You'd be the second in this one, and we all know you're going to Weenie Hut. All right, so that was Stavo to the Texans. Mike is up next. Man, I think Mike could follow the NFC South, but I don't think any of the teams are good enough. Really don't think he would take the Broncos and join that division. But he might being that Matt's in there. Well, you're in the AFC East with those two. You think they would want to play each other again?
Who?
Mike and Matt.
Mike ain't joining that division if it's got Prime and Straw in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking. I don't think he would
Like,
want the Dolphins.
he would not have fun. It would not be fun for Mike.
Yeah.
Seeing he's got
He likes playing Matt. Sure, everybody likes playing Matt.
Well, that's true. I mean, it's pretty easy. But man, I don't know where I would put him. I feel like Mike always takes like a weird team, like somebody you don't expect him to take. Maybe it's more for division, and that's why. I'm going to give him the 49ers. I think he gets Raider fan. He gets Hurts. The Rams are kind of a toss-up, but pretty much every division, unless you close one of these three out, is going to be that way. So I think he's going to take the 49ers. What do you think? AJ, you got any insight to what you think Mike might do?
I can see that. He's kind of unpredictable. I had no
Yeah.
idea Mike was taking the. Mike once told me told me to never join his division ever again, and then he joins mine this cycle. So like,
Yeah, it's
who
tough
knows?
to tell.
Guy's just a liar apparently. I don't know, or I don't know. I don't know what he's gonna do, but the 49ers is a good team. You know, everybody ditches Brock Purdy and has the same blueprint there, but
Yeah.
they still have a really nice defense. Um, you know, there's some good pieces there. That's a pretty desirable division as far as
You know
guys to
what?
play.
I'm an idiot. I'm getting rid of that. I just realized what we have going on. He's taking the Colts.
Oh yeah,
Mike's a Colts fan.
Oh, he is a Colts fan.
Yeah. That was dumb as hell, and nobody in chat said a word. Let me not give Mike the Colts, and now
We're used to the
Yeah,
Colts not
forget
being
Mike's
there.
now it's
forget
Stavo and
Mike's a
Tiny,
Colts
and
fan.
I don't know how he's gonna feel about playing those two, but it's rare that Mike gets a shot at the Colts.
Yeah.
So the one time I've seen him get a shot at the Colts, he took the Colts. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
give him
you're
the
100%
Colts.
right. He's
Yeah.
going for the Colts there.
We'll just edit that out in the publishing because that was an obvious call there. Mike to the Colts.
Edit out my Falcons comment too.
And Dump says Stavo's rejoicing, but I don't think Stavo would be happy about seeing Mike in there because Stavo probably won't last long if Mike's in there. All right.
Right.
We'll just have
Straw,
to
so you're
keep
up with Dump. Who do you
teams
have
open.
Dump taking? Dump's a Steelers fan. I don't think
Yep.
he's had the Steelers in the SML. So where do you see Dump going? And he's
Yeah.
in chat, so he can immediately tell us if we're wrong.
Right. I mean, Bomber, you have had an amazing cycle with the Browns. You're coming back again with the Browns. The Steelers are like god awful. And I think Dump, like, he was trying to, he's been like, since being back, he's been trying to reshape the narrative. Him and QP, there's been narratives going back and forth. They're trying to reclaim who they were and things. The Steelers would be tough for him to come in and do that, especially with you as the Browns. But I don't think Dump is afraid of stuff like that.
No, and he had
So-
my number for about a cycle and a half. So
Yeah, so I think he goes with the Steelers. I think he takes his team and he's about to I think that's even more motivation for him to be like, I'm about to show y'all, I'm gonna be back. So I think he goes with the Steelers and he's okay with the challenge.
yeah, I think the Steelers probably won't be a bad CFM team anyway. I mean, you got Rodgers for season 1, and then you do have Drew Aller, who Dan seems pretty convinced he's going to be 93 or higher throw power, which if everything tracks the way it has the last couple Maddens, that's not too bad. Dumps in chat. He says Cowboys or Ravens, Steelers are too bad in Madden.
Yeah, they're too bad. When it's your team and you're saying they're too bad, they're bad.
Yeah, Cowboys with Caleb Downs are tempting just for Caleb Downs on his own, but
100%.
But I like that pick. We put Steelers. We'll leave them as the Steelers just in case, because you never know how those rookies are going to shake out, and that pull of being your favorite team, that's a tough one to ignore.
Yep.
All right, so that means AJ, you're up for QP. Where do you have QP going? Chargers off the board. We got Straw to the Chargers. Where does QP go?
This is getting weird now because if you look at the AFC, it looks extremely stacked as far as skill level goes. So,
And
I
more
don't know.
filled than the other side, or even. It's not like everybody's running to one side.
Yeah, I don't think he'd play in a division with Tug again. I do think he would share a division with Dan, but I don't know if he wants to play with the same division as Tug again after this cycle. But I could see him maybe taking the Bengals. I think that would be a fun team for him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, you know what? Screw it. We'll slide him in at the Bengals. He gets set feet
Ooh.
lead. He gets the next best thing to Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Um, you know, that's a fun division as far as competition goes. Um, I don't see any none of the NFC teams left are appealing
Yeah.
um at all. So that's kind of my reasoning for that.
Yeah, most
Uh,
of them you're at a pretty severe disadvantage to everybody else that's already there, and there are good players in each one. Maybe the Cowboys, because they're probably one of the better teams, at least out of the box. But I just don't. I don't think he wants Dak Prescott either. But he would get Joe Milton, so that's
Yeah.
True.
But I like your pick of the Bengals. I think he wants to be a guy that slings the ball around. Um,
Yeah, and
and
you
he
got
gets
elite
set feet
wide
lead.
receivers. Um, and you got set feet lead and Joe Burrow, who's probably the most accurate quarterback in the league. So
Yeah, but Straw can attest to your cap is going to be a problem. So I don't know how much he wants to deal with that. But
he QP can manage a team.
yeah, as long as he doesn't let Gutta around him.
Yeah.
He's about the polar opposite. All right, so we got Trick now. Uh, Bengals off the board. Trick's on the board. I could see Trick taking the Jaguars.
Mm.
I think that division, you got Stavo there, but I mean, let's be real. Stavo's not even winning a division that has MMX, ZBD, and Not Nice. Um, guys that haven't exactly been lighting the world on fire, and Stavo's struggling to win that division every year. I think he lost to MMX last year. Uh, was it Not Nice made the playoffs? He didn't even break 500. So I think he sees that division. The Jaguars, always a good team. For some reason, I'm assuming it's because EA, they're headquartered in Orlando there for the Madden team. So probably
Jags
have a
have a
few
lot of
Jags fans.
Jags have a lot of speed too, don't they?
Yeah, they've got some speed. You got
Trick's a self-proclaimed speed whore.
oh, he
So
definitely is. He's not very good with it, but he likes to accumulate it. Um, and so I think they've got like 4 running backs that he can use. They've got Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter. I think Jaguars for Trick playing Mike, Stavo, and Tiny, and I think him and Mike kind of are fairly close. I think they've played together before, so I think that could be a good division for him. And I think the Jaguars are a solid team this far down.
I like that for Trick. I like that pick.
All right, so now the AI himself, ZBD. Who do you have him taking, Straw?
Yeah, I think he's looking at this, and I mean, I don't think he would go back to the NFC South, like anywhere in there. I think he's looking at this and probably analyzing best team, best scenario for him. Um, and so I think he's looking between Rams, Cowboys, Ravens. Um, I think he ends up going with. Mm,
I'm guessing one of those 3 teams. I'm curious if you're going to pick the same one.
I'm gonna give him. I don't think he goes the Ravens because he's also looking at that division potentially, like in trying to in analyzing everything. I think he goes with the Cowboys. I
That
think
is
that's what he ends
exactly
up.
who I had him taking. Yep.
Yeah, I think he ends up going with the Cowboys. It's a good team. Caleb Downs. I think he um is very analytical in how he looks at players, who they have, and capabilities and all that stuff. I think he likes this. I think he's fine with the division and all that kind of stuff. I got ZVD going with the Cowboys.
He's also an Ohio State fan, so Caleb Downs being there is going to be a plus. And then I happen to know he likes to DM AJ and MYT during games, after games, before games.
it's just us. I thought that was the whole league.
Well, yeah, but you 2 are in there, so I know he likes to DM you guys. So I've no doubt the Cowboys would be the pick there. I don't see anybody else that really stands out, and I think he'd enjoy that division too.
Yeah.
All right, so that means you're on the clock with Fig. Who do you have Fig taking, AJ?
It's a tough one because I was thinking Cowboys for him maybe. Um, Dolphins maybe just because you got Waddle there and
Yeah.
Big spent almost this entire cycle chasing a fast receiver for
Yeah.
Justin Herbert to throw to. Um, and then he trades Justin Herbert after he gets one. But
Oh, Steele says Waddle's gone, and I don't know what they're gonna do with Tyreek Hill, but Waddle is on the Broncos now, so
oh,
Broncos
okay,
still being open.
all right. Well, he's not joining the Broncos. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't see him joining that division.
so that brings me to the NFC South is so barren. The Saints are decent, but the Bucks and Panthers
Yeah,
are
I
pretty
feel like
rough.
this is exactly how the NFC South shaped up last year. Stavo
Yeah,
took the Falcons, and then the Saints, Bucks, and Panthers all fell to the bottom.
Yep.
I think he definitely goes NFC though at this juncture.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Maybe
So you think Fig is still like winning is something he's chasing?
I don't think he cares. I don't
Oh,
think he
okay.
cares because we've seen him join divisions with
So,
Dan and others, and
so why do you say NFC?
well, that's a good. Well, that's a good point. All right, all right, that's an intriguing point. But I also don't think he joins you and QP or
Yeah.
Prime and Straw. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
I
guess
could.
so. He's not trying. He's chasing not getting just 0-6 every year.
Yeah. Okay. So I think he's looking at. I think he does look at division at this point though, and he's taking the Vikings.
Mm.
Okay, I like it. They're probably one of my bottom three teams, but I like the reasoning behind it.
Justin Jefferson. You got a young QB, whether you like him or not.
Yeah, pass
There's
rusher
some
too with Dallas Turner.
there's some rebuild to do there. You got some older guys on the defense, but
Okay, so that brings us next to Doink, and Doink, funny enough, was who I was going to give the Vikings to because he's a Vikings fan. Um, so with Doink not getting the Vikings, there is not a ton of options here. I don't I don't know if he would do it, but I'm gonna give him the Ravens.
That's who I thought too.
Of course, I keep typing the damn team name there. I'm gonna give him the Ravens. I think the Ravens. You look at the teams left, and I know it's one of the probably maybe the toughest division there. Them or the AFC West, but I think the Ravens are just by far the better team. So I think he would take the Ravens regardless of team, because otherwise you're getting the 49ers, the Rams, the NFC South leftovers, or the Dolphins. Like I just think it's easy pick there to take the Ravens. A team that good falls, you're not gonna have many selections, so you might as well take a good one. All right, Straw. Who do you have not nice taken? He was the Saints this year. He was the unlucky winner of pick 32 that ended up being the Saints. Who do you have him taking?
Yeah. So NN is a Cowboys fan. So I can't see him taking the 49ers. Cowboys
Yeah.
absolutely hate the 49ers. I don't think he wants to go back to the NFC South. Um, the Dolphins don't look appealing. I don't. I think he checks in on the
Yeah,
Broncos,
this.
but
Yeah,
then I think he ends up going Rams. I think he looks at this and he says, you know what? I think he takes the Rams, and that's who NN goes with.
that's exactly who I was gonna say for him, because I don't think they have a pick in the first round next year. I think they traded it in the, or maybe they traded a different pick. I don't remember how they got the Ty Simpson pick, but I mean that just makes perfect sense that a team that gets rid of their picks, or is at least maybe they have them now, but they historically get rid of their first round picks. Makes perfect sense that Not Nice would take that team.
You can just start off with not even having
Yeah,
it.
if
There
you
you
could
go.
start with it, that'd be perfect. You don't have to waste the time of trading it away. So I think that's a perfect pick for him. That's where I was going to go with that.
That's funny.
And they should have a solid team. I mean,
Yeah.
so that's probably a good one for him. AJ, what do you have for Eddie?
I think Eddie would take the Broncos.
Yeah.
You think so? You think he'd follow Prime?
I think he's brash enough to do it.
Yeah.
Got enough, however you want to frame it. Got enough CTE to do it. Got enough moxie to do it. Whatever you want to call it. And then you get Bo Nix, who's kind of that speedy QB that he obviously favors.
Yeah.
He traded two X Factor QBs away to get to one, so or got rid of them, cut them, whatever he did. So I think he would take the Broncos here. I don't think Prime would harp at him, has been harping at him already after the Super Bowl loss, and
Yeah.
Eddie's one of those guys that'll, whether it's in his best interest or not, will put his foot forward and, talk some trash back. So I think he'd do it.
Yeah, I could see that. And same reason for Doink taking the Ravens. There's not a lot of great options at this point. Um,
Yep.
so then we have Slice up. Slice with one of the 4 teams or 5 teams left is the Dolphins that he already had. I don't think there's any way he runs it back with the Dolphins.
Mhm.
He's an Eagles fan, so they're off the board. And then it comes down to basically 49ers or the NFC South, which is rough. I actually think he'll go with the Bucks. Um, I think the Bucks are a sneaky good team. I took them in primer. I thought they were pretty good. I think you got Ibuka there. You've got Baker Mayfield. I assume will still have his superstar with past lead elite. So you have him for a couple years. Bucky Irving was amazing. Even if he was slow, he was still really good early in the cycle. And then they drafted Reuben Baines, so you've got a defensive end. You've got some pieces. They drafted 2 corners in the first round last year, Morrison and Parrish, I think. Both of them were decent speed, decent size, and so they'll be in their second year. They should be good. I think the Buccaneers are a sneaky good team, and I think Slice at this point jumps on them quick. So, Straw, where do you think Torque goes?
Yeah, I think Torque is happy to be starting over from with the team, and being able to choose and build himself up. I don't think these are the best of options, but if it fell like this, I think he goes with the Saints.
Saints.
I think the Saints have some upside. They just drafted that receiver in the first round.
Was it
You know,
Tyson?
yeah, that Tyson guy, I think. From Jordan Tyson from Arizona State, which is always fun. They still have a young QB who
No,
can kind of go
youngish.
any direction. When you're
Yeah.
talking about depth right now, it's still young enough where they can go any direction, or you can kind of move on from them. And so I think if he's looking at these options, I think he goes Saints.
Yeah, I like it. AJ, what do you think for Steele? You got Dolphins, you got Panthers, and you got 49ers.
Well, put him joining the same division again. Um, but if it were me, I'd probably pick 49ers here. If I were Steele, he'd probably be licking his chops, looking at the NFC right there, and say I can go to the Super Bowl every year or come close to it. 49ers are still a good team. They
Yeah.
got some age problems, but over the Panthers and Dolphins, I still think they're the better team available. Um, that's where I'd slot him in at.
Yeah, absolutely. Out of those teams, that's probably the best one there. And then to me, this is gonna make this easy for these last 2 because Finn's is a Dolphins fan.
Yep.
Um, so pick 31 and you get the team you want. In the Dolphins, probably can't be expecting much better than that. And then that would put Coop with the Panthers. Probably not who I would have had 32, but somewhere 30 or lower for the Panthers. So that's probably the way I would see that one going out is the Panthers, Dolphins in the bottom 2. But so what do you guys think looking at these divisions? Anything stand out to you or think somewhere maybe
Yes,
somebody would go somewhere different?
AFC is absolutely stacked.
Yeah, it does look stacked to me, which I mean, that's where I feel like the better teams are, so guys are going to
Yeah.
go there, but yeah. I mean, I feel like we didn't see anybody running to the NFC like I would have expected though.
I think in reality, somebody would though. They'd see the NFC and be like, "Yeah, I can take this conference." And
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, I agree with you that the better teams are in the AFC. I don't think it's any coincidence that you always look up and you're like, "Dang, the AFC looks stacked." It's just, I mean, some of the better players' favorite teams are over there too. So
Yeah, that does a lot too. And there's Finn
might be how
saying he
that.
hopes it goes like this. Torque says Saints would be fun, so I don't think we're that far off. I think
I think moving from Steelers to Cowboys would be interesting. I do like that as a team for Dump. I think that would
yeah.
really fun for him, and that'd be a crazy fun division with AJ versus Dump. And then if Woods gets back to his form with the Eagles, that's a crazy division right there.
Yeah, Eagles Woods is good. We'll see what he does. I do like your reasoning for that though, saying he would go back to the Eagles. I think we could see that. All right, guys. Well, it's been a little over an hour. This is longer than any SML countdown we've done. Hope everybody enjoyed the mock draft. I actually got a contract on my house while we were doing this, so that's even better. I got to go ahead and sign that. But
Nice.
so thanks for watching, guys. I'll post this on the YouTube channel, so anybody that missed it can watch it. I should probably blur out the actual list that we got, though, so they can't just skip to the end and see who got picked where. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for being on. AJ and Straw, we threw this together just kind of last second while Straw was not even in the country. So thanks to everybody bringing this together. And until we get the next episode, this has been SML Countdown.